Are you serious? Like, genuinely, people can be so frustrating at times. And we'll come back to this. I'll have timestamps down below, but I'm referring to the complete ridiculous drama in the comments about the price point of this game, of how dare they make the all-in pledge for this game so low. Timestamps down below if you want to jump straight to the drama, because whatever. But let's go into this. So, I am Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and today we are covering Everdell, Newleaf, Mistwood, and the complete collection, going over the campaign, the game, what's included, the pledge levels, all that stuff, and of course, and as usual, should you back it, and apparently, because why not, drama as well. And so to begin with, Everdell, Newleaf, Mistwood, and the complete collection represents the final closure of the Everdell saga, which is both, I mean, it's good and bad. I'm always sad when this happens. If Terraforming Mars says this is the last expansion, if Dominion says this is the last expansion, although in the case of Dominion it wasn't, so always remember there's always room for that gift to keep on giving, especially when there's money attached to it, and as long as they think they can deliver something that people will want, and they'll get less backlash about the fact that it wasn't actually the final expansion. But all that said, Everdell to me it's one of my favorite games. It's one of those games. I have a good like 20-30 games in my collection like this, that when I play them, they not only make me enjoy that game so much, but they make me think I should be getting rid of other games in my collection to give myself more room to play the games that I genuinely love this much. And Everdell is so very much, it's one of those games. It's 100% one of those games. It's one of those games that every time I play it, I'm like, gotta play this one more. Get rid of those 3 games. Those ones aren't seeing play enough, or they won't see play now, because I want to play some more Everdell. I want to play some more Super Fantasy Brawl, which will come to that Kickstarter later this week. But any of these games, Spirit Island, Terraforming Mars, Blood Rage, Inish, there's so many amazing experiences, and Everdell is very much one of those. And Everdell already has 4 expansions. It already has, I guess this is expansion number 5. It has Pearlbrook, it has Belfair, Spirecrest, Newleaf, and now Mistwood, or Mistleaf. See, I'm looking at the URL here, which has Mistleaf. That's very confusing. But it's Mistwood and Newleaf for the expansion. So we have 5 different expansions for Everdell, a game that I have played multiple times in the base game alone and enjoyed it as is. And so what do these expansions bring to the table? So I don't know much about Pearlbrook, Belfair, or Spirecrest. I know Belfair is a bit of a conglomeration of the different modules, as opposed to both Pearlbrook and Spirecrest, both bring you full board additions to the game. But over here, what we're going to be adding for these 2 expansions, we're going to be adding Newleaf and Mistwood. And Newleaf is going to be adding to the table, literally to the table, a new board. So let's go through that over here. We have Newleaf. What's included in this expansion? So, we have 4 new sets of worker meeples. We have the bats, the cats, the bees, the snails. Now, I will say, for all the new meeples included in both these editions, I'm not as pulled in or as enamored as I am with many of the original meeples. Then again, they've gone through multiple expansions, like I've said already, and they're running out of all the cutesy, over-the-top meeples that I love. I still love, is it the raccoons? The turtles. The turtles are still one of my favorite meeples in this game. But either way, we have 4 new sets of meeples. We have a new Leaf Station board. Now, we haven't talked about the pledge levels, but I will say what's not included in the pledge levels, unfortunately, is the gaming table you're going to need to have this game set up on your table with all of the board extensions on it. I mean, this game is not small to begin with. When you have all 4 board extensions added, it's going to be a beast. Let me see if we can find a bit of an image somewhere over here. There's an image somewhere of all the stuff. Here we go. This, if you ever do this over here, that is going to require its own gaming table, and fortunately, you can hop on over to Uniquely Geek to buy a giant gaming table that will cost you a bit more than your all-in pledge for this game, but at least you'll have a gaming table. And fun fact, this particular expansion for Everdell is available to be used with basically any other game in your collection. So it does have, it's a little more expensive, but it is usable with any other game in your collection. So in my opinion, a gaming table is still the best expansion to Everdell. And with that aside, and again, it'll cost you a bit, but by the way, I should mention, they don't actually recommend playing with all the expansions at once. Speaking for myself, as I slowly add in the expansions, unless I find it breaks the experience, I likely will just play with them all at once, because I don't know about you, I hate sorting through different cards and combinations. It gets to a point where you're like, okay, I want to play Everdell, but then I have to take out all the cards from that expansion and put in the cards from that expansion. You know what? I'll just play Spirit Island instead. That kind of scenario will happen to me. So it's the kind of thing where I'm going to take the best of Everdell, what gives me the best experience, play with that, and hopefully combine it in a way that works. But I am losing track of the point. I'm losing track of the point. I do that a lot. We're going to go back to, so we have a new Leaf station board. This is going to add a new station board, new mechanics to Everdell. And I had a playthrough of the game. In fact, speaking of content creation, there are a few different videos I recommend checking out. If you want a short overview of everything, I recommend checking out Board Game Coffee. He has a 3.5-minute video that goes through everything incredibly well, less jumping from topic to topic the way I do. So if you want to get, I mean, honestly, go watch that video. By the time you come back here, I'll still be talking about other side points. So you do you. And then we have the collector's edition from Cracklow. We have him literally going through a whole bunch of the cards. This is not going to be all the cards in the expansions, but it's definitely going to be a big chunk of them. So if you're the kind of person who literally wants to see, just show me the new stuff. I want to see the new stuff. I want to see those cards in detail. Well, head on over to Cracklow's channel. He'll have that. And then, of course, the reason I rambled to the side point is going to be the gameplay I had with my wife, with Rena, where we went over the expansion content for the game, what it's bringing to the table. Now keep in mind, this is primarily going to be the new cards for the game. It's not really going to have a ton of the actual modules, none of the Nightweaver, none of the train or any of that. But that aside, let's head back to the page where we can go over what's included over here. So we have, like I said already, we have the meeples, we have the new Leaf station board, we had more cards, the visitor cards. The visitor cards are going to be a great example of content we don't have in the game. We didn't actually play with ourselves. The 9 special event cards and more special events, more forests, some ticket tiles, which I don't actually know how these work in terms of the way they work together with the new boards, but they add something that lets you do something else. That's always a good thing in the game. From there, we're going to have the 18 train card tiles, some basic events, some golden occupied tokens. These represent a extra form of occupied, so like a special kind of occupied, a level above the regular occupation tokens in the game. We have 6 point tokens and 6 reservation tokens, and that's going to be the content for Newleaf. Mistwood's going to come to the table with a few extra things, but the primary thing Mistwood's bringing in a Nightweave. Nightweave's going to be this character who kind of plots to take over Everdell with the aid of her spiderlings, and she helps in solo and 2-player games. She can act like a bit of an autonomous player in the game, and again brings you some more meeples. We have the stoats, pigs, butterfly, spiders, 4 new sets of working meeples. We have new player power cards. These are going to be similar to the cards that if you've played Belfair, I think, then you'll have those cards. They give you an extra ability. You draw 2 cards, utilize one of them, but the flip side is you get 1 worker back. You get 1 worker less back in spring, and so there's a trade-off. You get more, but you get less. That balances the game. We have Nightweave, the big critter meeple, is going to go around to different locations. Her web tokens, the Nightweave lair board, which is going to be this token over here. Again, I can recommend that table if you want more space to put everything on the game. The more legends pack, these are going to be just more legendary creatures, which if you watch my playthrough with Rena, you will know that we completely did not know how to play with legendary cards because we'd never played with legendary cards before now, so we just kind of didn't really realize how they worked. Didn't impact our own experience, and in the end, we actually only each played 2 legendary cards anyway, so it didn't really change things that much, but in case you're wondering, we did play that wrong. Then we have 5 core and Everdell cards, some new farms. These farms are going to replace the tokens that you have in, they're going to replace the, not tokens, the regular farms you have in the base game, and they give you that fun of the farm, sorry, not really fun, they give you the point of the farm, but they add fun because now you have different unique abilities. You pick one every time you activate it, so it mixes up the farm experience, making farms far more interesting than they were before. We're going to have Nightweave cards, Nightweave personality cards, Nightweave plot cards, and more Nightweave plan cards. This goes back to that whole Autonoma, bringing more interaction to your 2-player game or your solo experience if that's what you're looking for. From there, we're going to have the big old storage box of Everdell. That's going to be an optional buy you can get. Basically, I think it's $39. We'll come back to it. But this gives you a giant box to store all your Everdell stuff in, which is awesome. If you wanted more stuff, and we'll show you that in a second when we come to the Everdell Complete Collection. From there, we have the Everdell The Complete Collection, which is bringing you absolutely everything Everdell for the price of $200. Don't worry, we're going to go through those pledge levels shortly. And this is a great little GIF showing you all the way everything kind of goes in. And actually, I'll stay watching this for a second so you can see, because it shows you pretty decently how everything kind of condenses into that game box in a pretty decent way, all things considered. This is going to give you, and by the way, this is going to be the same storage solution as the big old box. They said in the post or whatever it is, they said it's the same basic thing. Different artwork, seemingly, which we'll get to, but the same basic box and size and dimensions on all that, same insert included. For the complete collection, what do you got over here? You're going to have the wooden Evertree, you're going to have the rule books, the unique storage system, the 5 game boards, all of that, basically everything you expect to see. It's all the stuff combined, all the expansions, all the tokens, basically absolutely everything that you've ever seen. I'll keep scrolling, and with more to be revealed, by the way, one of the things the campaign is going to be doing is daily reveals as opposed to stretch goals. So all the content's planned, it's all going to be coming out and revealed as the campaign progresses, but no stretch goals in the typical sense. And that's going to be everything going on in Everdell. From there, if you want to watch, I don't know, how to play from Rodney Smith, watch it played. And then past that, we will go into the pledge levels before we go into the optional buys. So, pledge levels. So for $60, you get Newleaf and Mistwood for $60 plus shipping. And keep in mind, they're calling it a $60 game, marked down to $30. Practically speaking, that's not the price point you can expect to see. Generally, for the price point for these games is going to range from between $30 to $50 for the games. That can depend whether you're getting collector's editions or not. Now, they haven't really said anything in terms of collector's edition on this page, or at least not that I saw. So it's not clear whether you're getting exclusive deluxe content in, not exclusive. None of their content is exclusive. It's just a question of retail, regular versus collectors. So I haven't seen anything about these being collector's editions in terms of the Newleaf and Mistwood. So that price point is a little unclear. But even worst case scenario, if we look at Amazon, you can see over here, the expansions tend to go, the base game collector's edition goes for $100 on Amazon. That's reasonable, by the way. Generally is pretty expensive. The Everdell Pearlbrook, the Spirecrest, these are all for $50. These are all at the higher price point, obviously. But even if you go to Miniature Market, you'll see $35 for Belfair. Keep in mind, Belfair is one of the cheaper ones on Amazon at $45. But even if we assume $35, which is a lower price point, that $30 is still cheaper than that, all things considered. That $60 price point plus shipping, even on the low end, is going to be giving you basically what you can get down the road. And we'll come back to this should you back it. I'm jumping in from there. From there, we have $99, which is going to give you Newleaf, Mistwood, and the big old box of storage. That big old box of storage, if we can find optional buys somewhere down here. Optional buys. Okay, so the big old box of storage is going to be, I thought I saw it over here, I don't see it there. We're going to have deluxe resource vessels for $25. These are going to be deluxe things that do fit in your big box as well as in your collector's edition, so if you're aware of that, they will fit in there just fine. We have Tales from the Green Acorn, which is going to be, the world and art of Everdell. So that's fun. I mean, the art in Everdell is gorgeous. I actually am considering getting this. It's rare that I get these and don't regret them in terms of art books, anything like that, but I'm still considering it because it's Everdell. Then somewhere over here, there was the big box over here. Okay, so we have $30 for Everdell, $30 for Newleaf. No, not Newleaf. Everdell, Newleaf, Everdell, Mistwood, $30 each, $39 for the big old storage box. So in other words, that currently $99 is basically just the sum of those three prices. You're not getting any special deal there. It's just summing up the three prices, and that's what they're going to be what this pledge level is over here. And then for $199 is what you'll get the complete collection. And this is where we're going to start talking about the drama, so that timestamp down below. So before we even get into the should you back it, what makes the most sense, all of that, let's just save everyone a whole lot of time and say the complete collection by far is going to be absolutely the best price you can have here, not even a question. The complete collection is giving you $350 worth of content. Now that's dramatized, it's not $350 worth, but it's not that far off. It's giving you an incredible price on what people had to pay a lot more to back this game, and that is the pledge level you should 100% be getting if you are new to Everdell. Jump on this like a hot whatever, because it is a good price. It's a very good price. And for context, let's go back to Everdell Spirecrest. This is going to be the last Kickstarter. You can't see my screen because I forgot to change the camera angle. New thing I'm doing here. Everdell Spirecrest and Belfair over here. For context, when you look at the all-in pledge level here, for $168, you got Everdell Collector's Edition, Belfair, Pearlbrook, Spirecrest, and that's for $168. Plus for another $29, you got the tree, bringing you to basically $190. Was it $29? I can't remember exactly, but it's roughly $190 to get everything Everdell. And now what they're doing is they're giving you for $200, for $10 more, you're getting all the new content as well. It's an amazing price. It is a genuinely an amazing price. Jump on this now. Seriously. Even, and we'll come back to this, even if you are a returning backer, it's worth considering jumping on that price. Which brings us back to the whole drama and everything else, which is going to be the fact that in the comments of the page, in the 522 comments on the Kickstarter currently, people are not happy. They are not happy. How dare they price this game so low? How dare Starling Games take the price of Everdell and make it $200, which is such an obviously good buy that it makes everyone else feel invalidated with their prior support of this game, of this company. In other words, they would be happier, genuinely, and I'm talking to you. If you're one of these people who's frustrated, I'm talking to you. And by the way, just to be clear, we can disagree, we can still be friends, but hopefully, I'm still friends. But anyways, the price point of this game, if you are someone who is saying you would be happier if this price point was $250, $275, what you are basically saying is the price is too low and make it higher and deny other people a cheap access to this game because it'll make me feel better about my past purchases? Is that what's happening here? Have we gotten to the point with Kickstarter that we're never happy no matter what? when companies put out, campaigns that completely, keep in mind, this is Everdell. Everdell could have done the exact same thing that Terraforming Mars and Root just did. I thought they would, honestly. They could have just phoned it in. They could have said, hey, we got an incredibly popular game. We're just going to price it at whatever we want, and who cares, and we just won't bother with whatever. It doesn't matter if it's a good deal or not. People like the game. What's going to climb through the roof? I mean, the campaign's doing incredibly well for a reason, because it's Everdell. And let's see what it's up to. It's up to, what are we up to? We're at, $584,000, and it just launched. You might be seeing this tomorrow or whatever it is, but I mean, this launched like 2 hours ago. This is insane. They could have absolutely phoned it in. They could have just priced it at and whatever. And then you'd have people complaining about the fact that, they don't care. This is Starling Games just taking advantage of the fact that the game's so popular. So what do? They give you a good price. And now we have people losing their mind over the fact that other people can get their content cheaper. It might be frustrating. And I get it. It's not that I don't understand where you're coming from. I completely understand where you're coming from. You're coming from the fact that it feels like you're getting punished for investing early. And my answer there is a fewfold. One, you've had the game until now. You've played the game. Does that have no value to you? Two, if you really feel that strongly about it, stop getting games until the third, fourth, fifth print run 4 years later. You can do what any other industry has this. Any other industry has the concept that new things come out, old things get cheaper, and that's fine. You've utilized it along the way. Now it's more frustrating, and this I get too. It's more frustrating if it's sat on your shelf for 2 years unplayed. I have games that have sat on my shelf for 2 years unplayed. It happens. I get it. Now imagine if I paid more money for that game and now it's available cheaper, and I literally paid a premium for it to sit on my shelf. That is frustrating. But it's also not anyone else's problem. And my problem doesn't get better if I simply hope that the game becomes, cheaper. Were you selling the game? Were you planning on selling the game? Is that what happened? The idea... It's like they can't win. Companies can't win. Do you understand what happens if you sit there and give companies a hard time for giving a good price? Then you're giving them genuinely no incentive to actually try to give people a good deal. Like, I'm sitting there, my whole entire channel is about trying to say, hey, it's Kickstarter, they're asking for a lot of money, they're asking you to invest, give people a reason to invest. That's literally what these videos are about telling you good back, bad back, whatever. And then people are asking the companies to charge more for their game. Whatever. Let's go back to the game. Clearly, I don't agree, and that's okay. I'm wrong too sometimes, and I might be wrong here too. Whatever. So, going to the should you back it. So, should you back it, should you not? The short version is absolutely yes. On the low end, on the $60 level, the worst case scenario you have here is that the price point is okay. At that price point, you're talking about basically paying roughly $70 once you account for shipping. That's US, obviously. You have to factor in VAT or anything else, or international shipping for other locations. But even at the base option for a US backer, you're talking about paying roughly $70 for content that's likely going to be between $70 to $85, even at its cheapest at online stores. That is the bare minimum. So even at the baseline, you are getting a decent back that's worth backing offhand. From there, it only gets better the more you get, especially that complete collector's edition. Because that $199 price point, it is likely that we're not talking about a complete devaluation of the Everdell line across the board moving forward. The pricing is likely going to stay the same. We'll see a slight devaluation because of the following. Because of the fact that if you are one of those people who is frustrated and you do have your copy of Everdell, and by the way, I'm considering doing what I'm about to tell you here, then back the complete collection and sell off the base stuff when you get it. You'll pay $199. You'll get everything you want. Plus, you'll have about $150, $175 worth of content that you can turn around and sell later anyways. So this may well be the best option for you, even if you are someone who is a returning backer, to jump in at that complete collection level. We saw the same thing with, what's that game? I'm going to blank on the name. There was a game with clouds, Petrichor. Petrichor had a similar thing with their all-in pledge, where they gave such a good deal that it was almost worth just backing the whole thing and selling off the base to other people. And it's going to be a similar thing here. The other part, and this is going to be a big deal as well, unless they change that art, that box, that Everdell big box of storage versus the Everdell complete collection, I mean, this one they might change. I can see Starling Games changing it because there's no one. I don't know who made the approval process for this stuff. I can't imagine there's anyone who's backing this who prefers the big old box of storage compared to the Everdell complete collection. I could be wrong. I mean, ultimately it's sort of the same art, but one is gorgeous and one is nice. So, I mean, that's my own bias. Maybe there's people who prefer one or the other, but I imagine most people will prefer the complete collection. So, unless Starling Games changes that, unless they give you the big box option with the complete collection look, then what you're going to have is even more people who want that complete collection, giving you further reasons to go ahead and back the complete collection, get a better, nicer box for yourself, turn around and sell off the rest of the content down the road once your new stuff arrives, or if you want to take advantage now, if you really truly don't value having the game, then go ahead and sell your content off now and just get everything later down the road. So overall, my recommendation here is going to be, I mean, the Newleaf Mistbook, the Newleaf plus Mistwood plus, can't use words anymore. The Newleaf plus Mistwood plus big old box of storage is going to be a decent back offhand, as is the Newleaf plus Mistwood. But the absolute killer, no question, totally worth it, even if you have to sell it off later, is going to be the complete pledge or the complete collection over here. Past that, in terms of the extras, the deluxe resource vessel set may well hold its value. Harder to know with these. I would imagine with the aftermarket on Etsy, and we'll come back to that in a second, with the aftermarket for Everdell Deluxeified goods on Etsy, I imagine this will hold its value just fine, and like I mentioned already, this will fit into your big boxes. And then, from the Tales from the Green Acorn, the Tales from the Green Acorn is going to be, that one I have no idea as far as how it holds its value. Generally, I would say most books that come along with games don't, but there will always be that person who wants to pick one up, and it's hard to get their hands on it. Generally, I don't recommend them, but hey, if you want to, go ahead and jump in it. Now, regarding two things. One, regarding add-ons, there aren't going to really be additional add-ons. Your options are the complete pledge or the individual broken out pledges. If you want any more additional items, then buy it on Amazon, buy it in retail. They are not giving you add-ons currently in this campaign, at least as of now. Things may change there. And regarding what I mentioned about Etsy, I will say Starling Games in general does have a bit of a checkered history. Like overall, I mean, I like their games, but overall they have done some things that are not consumer friendly. That includes in their last campaign in Flourish, they had a whole back drama about people and not giving refunds or whatever it was. That was a little bit, it was a little pushing it, and I'm not going to overly go into it, but they have pushed that boundary. In regards to Etsy and stuff like that, they have had drama around the fact that they tried to shut down a bunch of Etsy sellers for selling stuff for Everdell. They eventually settled on, announcing not official Everdell merch. The fact that they're selling Everdell merch in this collection over here, this resource vessel set, kind of adds to the potential reasons for that. But overall, they have, to a certain extent, taken a non-consumer friendly approach, which is just worth mentioning in general. Now, again, overall, I'm still a fan of their games, their company. I don't think they're the worst, but they do have a bit of a checkered background in that sense. It's just worth mentioning because I know I'll always get 14 comments down below about people who say, but you didn't cover this, and this. You're right. Now I did, though. So that is going to be that. That is basically everything Everdell. The shipping is coming in at roughly $15 for the Mistwood, or for the basic Newleaf plus Mistwood, and then it's going to be $22 for Newleaf plus Mistwood plus everything else, and the complete collection coming in at $26. All those slowly bumping up. But again, overall, solid back. Overall, I mean, it's Everdell. My testimonial, where was it? I have a testimonial on this page somewhere. Here we go. I mean, it's Everdell. It's not like I wasn't going to love the expansions regardless, but in all seriousness, the new cards are great, introducing more options and flexibility to a game we already love. Looking forward to experiencing the rest of what the expansions have to offer. And yes, I mean every single word of that. Everdell, like I said at the beginning, is one of my favorite games. It is an absolute delight every single time I pull it out and play it. The card comboing and everything going on is so immensely satisfying. It gives me that Terraforming Mars vibe and a cutesy different theme of, woodland creatures and all that. Great game, great experience. This is the time to jump in. Get that complete pledge, $200 for a ton of goodness in an amazing game. And until next time, I am Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and I hope you have a good one.